The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Hello, everybody. This is Dave Canyon. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. That's right. That's right. You should be. That's right. You should be excited. Thank you for the round of applause and the standing ovation. And for those of you that couldn't get in to listen or see the show today, my apologies. We'll try to get a bigger room next time. But thanks for trying. Hey, everybody. Hello, dum-dums. Welcome to the show, February 24th. It is Friday morning. I don't know if I've ever done a Friday morning Dumbing It Down with Dave. It is 7:57 in the morning. I'm on my way home from work. And like I've said many times before, I wasn't going to do a podcast today. I don't really have to do one today. I could wait till Sunday. But I'm feeling good, and I have something on my mind. So I said, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. That's how the show rolls. Sometimes you get one show a week. Sometimes you get two. Maybe this week you'll get three. Maybe I'll do one today and Sunday. Maybe I'll just do one today. It is a myriad of choices. So, but let's give it a go. Real quickly, let's just get it out of the way. Let's do the mileage report. The mileage report brought to you by the people from ComedyPipe.com who bring you the show Pipe Dream Live. Wherever you are in the world, if it's Wednesday at 8 o'clock on the eastern seaboard of the United States of America, North America, it is time for Pipe Dream Live, Wednesdays at 8 o'clock with your host, Mike, also known as 3D. Mileage report today is for my 2008 Kia Rio LX is 228,636 miles. Thank you, Kia. Appreciate the support. 228,636. I mean, I say appreciate the support. I appreciate the support you could be giving. Anyway, boy, is that not too subtle. Not very subtle at all. So anyway, episode 61. You know what I'm going to call it? I'm going to prename it. I'm going to call this Let's Talk About Powerball, or Let's Talk Powerball. If you don't know what Powerball is, if you live in a part of the country, I guess, I don't know. I don't even know how that works, but if there's a part of the country that doesn't have Powerball, it's a lotto. It's a big lotto. It's a big lottery. And this past Powerball was $430 million. That was the jackpot. And I play it, I played a $2 ticket. I don't think I got anything from it. I know I wasn't the big winner. At least I'm pretty sure I wasn't the big winner. I didn't hear the announcement as to who was or where they were and all that other stuff. But I don't even know if I got a small. I'd settle for a little, like 500 or 5,000, thing. But $430 million. Boy, that's a lot of money for one winner. If there was one winner, that's a lot of money. I like when like a whole factory chips in and they get the 30 tickets and 30 people, 60 people all split the money. That's kind of nice. But when one person wins $430 million, that is an absurd amount of money. And I heard the lump sum payout was like $240 million, and I didn't know that. I don't know exactly how it works, but I think if you decide not to take the lump sum and you want to have it, paid off every year, paid, dividends every year, I think I heard it's a 29-year payoff. I thought it was 20 years. So maybe my hearing is bad. Maybe it's 20, maybe it's 29. 29 is a long time, but you get more money, I guess, because you're not taking it as a lump sum. And I think that's the way to go. Depending on your age, I think that's the way to go, because how do you go from making no money, and most of us make no money, in comparison to $430 million, most of us make no money. And we're going to talk about that because I enjoy this conversation. I've had it by myself. I've had it with friends. And it's always, to me, so intriguing to discuss, not just the fantasy of winning the lottery, the lotto, the Powerball. Let's just call it the Powerball. Not just the fantasy of it, but the reality of it. That's what I find fascinating. Because everybody says, I would just do this. I would just do it. If I want... Listen, let's talk about the reality. That show is a good show for somebody else. But on Dumbing It Down with Dave, we're going to have to dumb it down. Talking about Powerball. Talking about a $430 million jackpot. So, okay, so let's start. For instance, here's it's not necessarily in order that I'm doing this, but I would like to get to the part where we go, okay, make believe you win. What do you do? I love that question. When you win, when you sit there and you look at your ticket, what do you do? We're going to get to that. Maybe we won't. But let's just talk about $430 million. Let's say Mrs. Dum Dum and I, last year, or the last couple of years, together, 2 salaries, we made $100,000. We grossed $100,000, right? Gross is the big number, and net is the number after taxes. All right, dumbing that down a little bit for you, for those that don't know. So let's say we grossed $100,000. All right, that means it would take 10 years for us to gross $1 million. 10 years to gross $1 million. If combined we make $100,000 a year. $1 million, just one. So how many years would it take to make $430 million? I think it would take 4,300 years. Is that the math? Are you guys following me on this? Did I lose you, all the non-mathematicians? It takes 10 years to make $1 million. So in 100 years, you would have made $10 million. Right? In 1,000 years, you'd make $100 million. But it's a $400 million lottery. So, Powerball. So, yeah. It would take you 4,300 years to make $430 million. But all you have to do is be lucky enough to get 6 or 7 numbers correct, extremely lucky, and boom, you get it instantly. Think about that. How insane that is. And considering the average, is the intelligent word to say median? The median? I don't even know. I've never understood medium and median. But let's just take the average intelligence of a United States American. United States American? Yeah, sure. Of an American. A husband, a wife, usually it's a couple, right? Isn't it usually a couple that wins? But it could be a single person. It could be an individual. That's got to be even worse. So imagine that. 430 million, which normally would take you 4,300 years. Normally, that's what it would take. Yeah, when you set your mind to it, you might be able to get it done quicker than that. If you really do rice and beans and recycle cans, you might get it done earlier than 4,300 years. So just trying to give you an idea here of the disparity. Is that the word? The difference in that money. It's insane. I'm always amazed that nobody has said, hey, this Powerball thing, why are we having one person win a ridiculous amount of money? I mean, just think about in your life, who are you going to go to? All right, we talked before about what would be the first thing you do? Well, other than making a copy of the ticket and instantly getting a safe deposit box, that's what I would do. I would make a copy of the ticket. And then, of course, after I screamed and yelled and lost my voice, depending on where I was, depending on where I'm at, I might actually jump up and down, and scream. Or I might be so terrified of it, I might just cry. I might just sit there and cry, go, I can't believe this. And now, you got to be careful what you wish for, because now you have the burden. You have the burden of $430 million. Most of us don't balance checkbooks. Most of us don't have a budget. Most of us have bounced a check or lost a check, avoided a check, and we're looking at those statements from Discover card or whatever, the Visa card. We're looking at the interest. Go, oh, this interest is killing me. I got to get a zero interest. I mean, we're scrapping. Most of us. Once again, I'm going to use the 99%. The 99% of us are scrapping away. Now you have $430 million. I don't know who's the wealthiest men in the world or people in the world. Are you wealthier than the Microsoft guy, Gates, Buffett, Trump? Or are they billionaires and you're just a millionaire? You're just a measly 430 millionaire. They're billionaires. Well, you're halfway there almost. Because another 500 or 600 million, you'd be a billion. So that gives you a little perspective of what a billion is. 999 million plus one more million is a billion. We already discussed it takes 4,300 years if you make 100,000 a year to make 430 million. So how long would it take you to make a billion? Probably about 10,000 years. And a couple of those 10,000 years would have to be like a light year. You'd have to get off the calendar. You'd be out of calendars. You'd have to get onto light year. You'd have to jump on that comet, that light year comet. You have to jump on one of those satellites that's going out to look at more. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go on this. You're going to have to hope, like Chutes and Ladders, you're going to have to hope for a black hole. If I could just get into that black hole, and maybe it's a chute. No, chute goes down, right? Maybe it's a ladder. It makes me go up. That's the only way you're going to get to the billion at $100,000 a year. Even if you made $200,000 a year, that would just cut everything in half. It still would take you, like 2,500 years, whatever, 2,100 and 2,200 years, or 2,150 years to make $430 million. If you made $100,000 a year, or $200,000 a year, it's just such a ridiculous amount of money. And I always think if I find that I win, other than screaming, I won, and I found out I won. Other than jumping up and down and screaming and all that stuff and crying and it's just like what is the allotted amount of time that you're allowed to jump up and down and scream? Like what? Because it's not like you just won anything you've ever won before. Remember when you're at the carnival and you shoot the water gun into the balloon, into the clown's face, and you win? You go, yay! I win. What do you get? Oh, you get a little Pookie doll, whatever they call those. You get one of those. You get a little animal. You get a little stuff. Whatever. You get a little trinket because you popped the balloon before the other idiots popped the balloon. Are those things rigged, by the way? I don't know. So imagine your excitement when you won the carnival game where you popped the balloon and before everybody else with that stupid water gun. Imagine your excitement when you go to what's the thing? You take the big hammer and you smack it down, and the hockey puck goes up and rings the bell. Why can't I remember what that's called? But it doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about. Imagine your excitement when you hit that. Imagine your excitement when you walk down the street and you find a $5 bill or $1 or $20. You're like, oh, or a quarter. Imagine how excited you get from just the littlest reward. Now you're looking at a little piece of paper, the palm of your hand. It's got 6 or 7 numbers on it. You realize they match, and you have just come into $430 million. And you know that it takes a lot to get to that moment where you get that money, because you got a lot of stuff to do. So I don't know what the allotted amount of time is, the allowed amount, not allowed, but what is the appropriate amount of time for yelling and jumping up and down? And by the way, how long before you go back to sleep? Not that you were asleep when you found out, but you know what I'm saying? Like, how many days can you go without sleep? I would imagine I would be up for about 2 or 3 days. I'd imagine that it's probably like being on crystal meth. Not that I've ever done that. It's probably like being on drugs, because you just don't know what to do. It's got to be that way. I can't imagine you go, oh, wow, this is great. All right, listen, let's call the lawyer. And then we'll talk to him, and then we'll go out to eat, and then we'll come home, and we'll get a piece of paper, we'll get a yellow legal pad, and we'll just sort of discuss some ideas. No, it doesn't work that way. You don't all of a sudden become effeminate and start planning out your life. You go nuts. You go apeshit. You go bananas. You go bonkers. I mean, the words that you've always used for exuberant behavior, exhilarating, exhilarate. Whatever, that's not the word I want. Whatever. Nothing is appropriate anymore. He just won $430 million. And if those of you who think, Dave, you're taking too much time talking about this, but you're not You're not getting to the it of it. But I'm trying to not exemplify. I'm trying to show you. It's got to be so insane. It's unlike anything you've ever done. It's like anything you've ever happened to. Much different than an orgasm. Much different from, jumping out of a plane. Maybe it's the same thing as jumping out of a plane. I haven't done it yet. But it's got to be so exhilarating. It's got to be so out of your mind. I bet your body shakes. You sweat. You might even wet yourself a little bit. I know I would. I would absolutely be peeing myself. I probably wouldn't even realize, oh my God, I just peed on myself. Like a chihuahua, like one of those yelpy little pishy dogs. Little Yorkshire, whatever, one of those little pishy dogs. Would I be able to stand up? Would I want to sit down? Would I be standing up and sitting down? How long before I eat or drink? Like, if I was hungry and I was ready to go make something on the stove, and then I saw the ticket and I won, and I won $430 million, would I continue to make something to eat? Let's say I was, how you get home, you're like, oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, I'm so hungry. I'm famished. You're not even hungry, you're famished. You just came out of the desert. You haven't eaten in days. You just came home from work. You're starving. You didn't want to eat at the McDonald's because you didn't have enough money. That's how ironic this whole thing is. You didn't eat at the McDonald's because you didn't want to eat that garbage. Or you didn't have the money. You didn't have a coupon. You said, I'm going to wait till the 2 for $4 coupon comes my way. Whatever. And then you go home and you start to look in the pantry, and all of a sudden you go, oh, wait, let me check my ticket. And then you win. So you haven't eaten. You don't even know. And once you win, you don't remember the last time you peed or pooped. You don't remember the last time you ate. You don't remember anything anymore. You just are so out of your mind. So my guess is you make a copy of the ticket once you settle down, and then you immediately call the bank and talk about a safe deposit box. And you put the ticket in the safe deposit box. You can't have it in your hand. You can't have it in the house. You just can't take that chance. And you got to have a copy of it instantly. And I probably would make more than one copy. I probably would put one in the safe deposit box, which would be idiotic. Put one in the safe deposit box with the original ticket. And I'd probably keep the others in, I don't know, put one in my shoe. I don't know, put one in my pocket, put one in the, put one in my sock drawer. Just to know that I have 5 different sets of that stupid ticket. I probably would do that, and none of it makes sense. But I would want as much evidence as I could that I want it. I guess at some point I would read the back of the ticket, but you don't have to read the back of the ticket. You got a year. I think you usually have a year before you have to call the lottery office and say, hey, I have the ticket. So let's say I'm home alone and I got to call the wife. Would you call your spouse at work? Because they're at work. They don't know what's going on. They're just doing that middle-class, mundane activity, whatever it is. And now if you call, you're going to ruin their day. I mean, you're probably thinking, well, ruin it? What, are you crazy? Well, let's say, I mean, nobody really gives this any thought. But, like, if I called my wife, would she say, all right, hey, today's my last day, gotta go? What do you mean? I just won the lottery. I just won $430 million. There's really no point in me being here. And by the way, these kids are rotten. I gotta go. My wife works in the school system. Would I call her, or would I just wait for her to get home? I don't want to disturb her at work. Plus, I don't know if I want people at school knowing. I live in a very small town. I mean, probably everybody's going to find out anyway. But do I really want my wife to walk out of the job, or would you want your spouse to walk out and everybody goes, "Ugh, he won? Why didn't I win?" I hope that guy remembers me. I was nice to him once. I gave him half a sandwich. I gave him a ride. Or whatever. Oh, was I mean to him? Uh-oh. All of a sudden, it's like, now, if I called my wife and she left because now she's $430 million richer, I mean, everybody in school would be suspicious, and I don't know, it just seems like you got to really aim to be low-key. So, number one, jump up and down and enjoy your victory. your supposed victory. We don't know if this is going to be a victory. This might be a horror. Number 2, make a copy. Instantly, make copies. More than one copy. Call the bank, find out about a safe deposit box. See if they have an availability. And immediately get it over there. I would probably put the ticket in a Ziploc bag. I don't know why. Seems like a good idea. Put it in a Ziploc bag. Not a sandwich bag that opens up. You want a Ziploc. You want that Ziploc. That's the security that you need. The safe deposit box is nice, but the Ziploc bag, the fact that it zips closed, even though you've opened it, that's the option right there. That's the way to go. You put it in a box, you forget about it. And then, then you call your spouse. If you have one, you call your spouse. Or you wait. You just wait. Sit there and wait. And you could just start writing down things to do. I'd call my lawyer. But then again, I think, wait a minute, would I call my lawyer? Because my lawyer, I don't think has ever lawyered a person who's $430 million richer in a matter of minutes, in a matter of seconds. Maybe he has. I'm sure there's been inheritances that he's presided over. But still, I mean, $430 million. How do I know I could trust him? Right? How do you know he's trustworthy? Am I recording? Yes, I am. Good. Yeah. How do I know he's trustworthy? I don't. Oh, hold on. I got to put my P blocker back on. 21 minutes, 42 seconds. We might have to do a part 2. So I think I wouldn't call my lawyer now that I'm thinking about it, and I would get on the Google, which kind of also scares me because if you start Googling what to do when you just win $430 million, are there going to be people on the internet that are going to be picking up on me? Is the NSA going to be like, whoa, who's Googling? Who's that guy? Hey, Bill, come here. Somebody is Googling what to do when you win $430 million. Let's get the IP address on this guy. I know we're supposed to be looking up child pornography downloaders, but you got to admit, this is kind of, we got nothing to do with this. It's a slow day. Let's find out who this guy is. Let's find out where he is. That thought would cross my mind. Don't go on the internet at home and Google what to do when you win $430 million with the Powerball. I don't know if I want to send that message out over the interweb. Maybe I'll go to the library, which means I'd have to drive. And I think instantly I'd be like, drive? Where's my chauffeur? Where's my chauffeur with my Google car? Where's my chauffeur? Where's my help? How come I don't have help? I can't drive by myself. I'm a $430 millionaire. I don't drive. Not anymore. Anyway. Imagine what your perspective is on driving. You're sitting at a light. You go, sitting at a light? Why am I sitting at a light for? Oh, I'm just going to go through it. I can afford a ticket a day. I can afford... what are they going to do? Revoke my license? If I get too many tickets? What are they going to do? Put me in jail? What are they going to do? Take away my car? Take away my keys? What are they going to do? Eventually, I'm just going to hire somebody. I'm going to do good for the economy. I'm going to hire somebody, and they're going to chauffeur me around. I'm going to have 2 chauffeurs, an AM chauffeur and a PM chauffeur, and they're going to live in a shack right next to my house. There'll be a little driver's shack. But that's interesting, right? You're at a light. You're sitting at the light. You just won $430 million. You go, why am I waiting at the light? If that cop sees me and pulls me over and writes me a ticket, I go, thank you. And you can rip it up. You can rip it up. What are you going to pay it for? What do you care? Once you win $430 million, nothing applies to you. These rules don't apply to you anymore. I mean, they apply to you, but how are they going to follow through? Listen, Dave, if you don't pay this ticket, we're going to attack a heavy fine onto it. And then we're going to revoke your license for 6 months. I'd be like, really? Oh, God. What am I going to do for 6 months? Oh, I know. Not give a crap. That's what I'm going to do. You know why? You know what, Judge? Because I just won $430 million. Your silly little menial, blue-collar rules don't apply to me anymore. I'm in a whole different echelon. I said that. So, You got to find a lawyer that can handle such a victory. Boy, there's a lot to talk about. So let's just call this Powerball number 1. Why do I keep on losing the... how many minutes I got left? 25, okay. And you got to find a good accountant, obviously. You got to find a really good accountant. I have an uncle that used to work at Merrill Lynch. I might give him a call and say, hey, Unc. I never called him Unc, I'm just saying that. Listen, I just came into $430 million. You know anybody that can help me with that? But I got to tell you, I think everybody I would talk to, I'd be suspicious. Like, wait a minute. You know, $430 million, that sways people's opinions of you. You know, it's a very effective tool to get people to pay attention. $430 million. So I'd have to be a little... Plus, since I don't know anything about money, I don't know anything about how to handle $430 million. Whatever my Unc from Merrill Lynch would suggest, I'd be suspicious. Like, wait a minute, I don't know. It seems to me like this might not be a good idea. I don't know. I think there's a lot of Google in my future, a lot of researching, you know, options, you know, seeing what previous people have done right and wrong with that money. So, all right, so what do we decide? Jump up and down and scream. Don't call your spouse if they're at work. Wait till they get home. I still haven't decided. Once they get home, what do you do? I mean, let's say my kid is home. Let's say my son, my 19-and-a-half-year-old lazy son is home. You think I'm going to tell him? How does that affect your children? Because now that you've won $430 million, your children have basically won that money. How are you going to keep them from being spoiled brats? How are you going to keep them from being lazy? $430 million. Why would your kid ever work again? I mean, obviously you want it, not them. But really, if they know that you have money, you can't say, when they say to you, hey, Ma, Dad, I'm going to go with the guys. We're just going to go get some pizza at a movie. Can I borrow $10? What are you going to do? You going to say no? $10. I'm eating popcorn for some reason. $10. What life am I living? What are you going to say no to? You can afford everything. I could probably afford to buy my town. For $430 million, I could buy all of Saugerties. I would buy it and I would rename it the Grand Canyon. Yep, Grand Canyon. Anyway, make a copy of the ticket, safe deposit box, jump up and down, don't call your spouse, and don't let your kid find out. Don't let any of your kids know. Big mistake. Big mistake. I don't even know if you can keep it from them or how long you could do that. But you can't let your older kids know. Because they'll just get jaded instantly. Like, wait a minute. Why am I going to school? All you got to do is give me an allowance of a couple $100,000 a year and I'm done for the rest of my life. Oh, really? Oh, is that your answer? You want me to give you some of my lotto winnings? Yeah, Dad. Come on. $430 million. If you just went down the street and gave $1 million to the first 430 people you saw, you know, that's how you get rid of your money. I'm just your son. Give me $1 million, I'll be out of your hair for a couple of years. I gotta tell you, it might be worth it. Anyway, all right, let's do a part 2. All right, so that's Powerball number 1. Powerball part 1. Let's talk Powerball part 1. All right, goodbye, good day, good night, good luck, good riddance, Godspeed, and great skills. Take care.